Law of the universe number 1, if you have a German Shepherd, they will shed everywhere. You ever notice how the universe has laws? Law of gravity, law of physics, law of thermodynamics, law of how every girl named Tiffany will eventually rip your heart out and steal your damn Nespresso machine. Seriously, Tiffany, I need that back. Guys, that was a joke. Relax. It's not a joke. I miss her so much. You might notice that once you see a pattern, it shows up everywhere, doesn't it? This led me to studying spirituality, psychology, metaphysics, esoteric books and teachings, like the ones you would find in a Sedona crystal hippie shop. It's like right next to the incense that promises instant enlightenment. The lady was nice, so I had to buy it. In all seriousness, in this video, I want to go over 3 universal laws that govern your life, whether you know it or not. My promise to you is that if you're into some of the more woo-woo, esoteric self-improvement advice, raising your vibe, or you're just trying to get a leg up on the universe, you're in the right spot. Let's kick it off with law number 1, to which we will turn to a book, The Kabbalion, that is reported to be based off the Emerald Tablets, which you can find dating back to 36,000 years old. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to the law. Chance is but a name for the law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. This is the law of cause and effect. Basically, it means that everything you put out eventually comes back to you like a boomerang, hopefully minus a head injury. The simplistic view of this is everything has an equal and opposite reaction. Action, reaction, cause, effect. But life works a little different, doesn't it? The problem is that humans have a tendency to think really short term, and most of the effects in your life of causes are long term. And so it might not look like cause and effect right off the bat, but if you look deep enough, you'll start to see this everywhere. I drew this up for you. This is the principle of delay time, and it pairs with cause and effect. We have effect on one side and the time on the other. The bigger the actions you take today trying to make a big change, the longer the time it takes you to see the effect. This works for and against you. Take the example of working out. The cause is you getting in the gym, eating right, but you don't see the effect until 3-6 months down the road, do you? The inverse of that is also true. Not prioritizing your health. The cause is right here. You know, it feels like you're getting away with it, skipping the gym, until a week goes by, you start getting back pain, clothes start fitting a little tighter in the wrong places, you know what I'm saying? 6 months, a year, you're out of shape. The effects of staying in a job that's not fulfilling for you and you don't like, at first is very manageable, and then you hit a wall and you're 10 years later in your career, and now you're seeing the effect of being dissatisfied at work. Or the cause of you grinding in a business, getting something off the ground, you work the late nights, you stay up on weekends, you do what others won't, and then eventually you can live a life that others can't because you put in all the cause and now you get the effects later down the road. My point is that we're notoriously short term as humans, and this is really hard for us to conceptualize cause and effect. So it might seem like in your life feels a little random, or you hear people say things like, why does this always happen to me? If we had their whole timeline of their life laid out, chances are they took causes or they didn't take causes, often years or months ago, and now they're just dealing with the effects. You know, I'll give you a perfect example of this. Take someone who is working like in an office setting, and they have a bad habit about spilling the tea. Like they gossip, they're a gossip machine. Hey, did you hear what Jake's son did? Oh my God, I can't believe he did that. Hey, did you hear what Jessica? Oh man, I can't believe she did that. Eventually, word gets out that she's talking smack, and she stops getting invited to things. Now, mind you, she doesn't even know why she's not getting invited out with her friends, why people sort of treat her differently. And so in her head, she's saying, oh, well, people don't like me because, you know, it's their problem or XYZ. Little did she know it was her own causes that was causing the effect people to treat her differently. So a meta point on this is sometimes we don't even see the cause that's creating the effect in our life, but it's still there if you trace it back. I have found in my life, the bigger the goal you want, the longer this delay time is between actually getting it. This is why things that are really hard are valuable. It's because you're willing to put in the efforts way before you'll ever see the payout. Investing isn't just a financial principle, it's one that you can use in your life. Investing in the relationships today that you want the effect of 10, 20 years down the road. Investing in your health today so you can be healthy for the next 30, 40, 50 years and beyond. This makes you question, what are the causes now that are going to lead to the effects of my life 5 years down the road, a year down the road, 10 years down the road? And it starts making you think differently about the actions you take now. It's been said you don't do things for you of today, you do things for the future you of tomorrow, 5 years, 10 years down the road. Set your 5, 10-year self up for success, and you'll be so thankful that you did. Now that you know your actions ripple out into the future, let's talk about the energy behind them. Enter the law of vibration. Nikola Tesla said that if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. The law of vibration. Now, how is this different than a law you might have heard of, the law of attraction? Not to be confused with the law of attraction I have towards ordering Uber Eats Chipotle burritos. I was fascinated with the law of attraction years ago. I read a lot of books, I listened to a lot of speakers talk about it, and while I think the community that follows it is a bunch of beautiful, positive people who want to change their life for the better, I do believe it has a bit of a PR marketing problem with how they talk about it. Just being honest, I think there's two major problems. The first is that this idea that when you're manifesting something, you're like creating it and you're willing it into existence. You use these superpowers and then it appears in front of you. Not exactly in my experience and my understanding of how it works. Here's the nuance. Manifesting is not about creating. Manifesting is about attracting things to you. Going deeper, there's a chance that everything you want in your life already exists. The amount of money you want. You don't go to the Federal Reserve and say, print me $1 million. No, it's already circulating and you attract it to you. The person you want, chances are they're already alive, living their life, and it's about you getting in the certain vibration that matches their vibe and attracts them to you. Something about that guy. I like him. I like her. She's cool. Opportunities, people, places, where you want to live. It already exists. So you might be thinking now, okay, law of attraction, law of vibration, what's the difference? And if I'm not manifesting like creating something, then what am I doing? I've showed you this in other videos. I need a giant poster of it. We talk about it so much. It's the vibrational scale of emotions. So if you rank ordered every single emotion you could feel on a given day, at the top you'd have love, peace, belonging, enlightenment, joy, and at the bottom you'd probably have shame, guilt, fear, courage, apathy, willingness, neutrality in the middle. The law of attraction says if you just think it enough, it will come to you. But that's not true if you're thinking from those low vibrational frequencies. Like attracts like, and you're just gonna attract more of that. You ever notice that when you're really negative, you attract a certain type of friend group or a certain type of person in your life? Maybe you date a certain person when you were a previous version of yourself, and then you grew, and what happens? You maybe outgrow that friend group that's kind of toxic. You maybe outgrow that person. You realize the relationship isn't working out. We've grown apart. And you step into better things as you start to level up. It's because of this fundamental truth. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. Manifesting is not about creating, it's about attracting. It's about raising yourself up to the vibration of the people, places, things you want to be on, and then watch how those things, people, opportunities start to come in your life. You've heard the term on a roll. What is that? That's momentum. An object in motion stays in motion, right? And once you get on a roll, you ever notice how like things start to move faster towards you in your life? Like you go to the gym, you start improving yourself, and then you start thinking better, and before you know it, maybe you have a new job opportunity. Before you know it, maybe you have a new friend circle that vibes with you, that's higher. Times I look back on my life where I've really prioritized self-growth and, just being a more positive person, getting in the right vibe, getting in the right headspace. Those are the times where I end up attracting a relationship if I was single. Those are the times where I have that excitement where the business gets a new little uptick in the numbers. Those are the times that are just more fun. If you want to instantly raise your vibration, ask yourself, what can I get excited about? Because I personally have found excitement is one of the quickest ways that bumps you up from those low vibe emotions into higher ones, and then people, places, things, opportunities in your life start to come to you that you're like, hell yeah, I like this. This feels good. This is like what life is supposed to be like. Maybe you've heard some advice that is like, you gotta be in the right place at the right time. I'm so lucky I was in the right place at the right time. That's half-baked and it's half true. It's not enough to be the right place at the right time. You have to be the right person in the right place and the right time. Remember, manifesting is not creating, it's attracting. So chances are right now, that dream job you want already exists. But if you're not in the right headspace when you go in for that interview, you're not vibing right, you're not your best version of yourself, even if you're in the right place at the right time, you might not be the right person at the right place at the right time, and it might pass you by. So how do you raise your vibration? We talked about excitement. What can you get super excited about in your life? But I also find that raising it is not just about what we add, because that can help. Like if you start meditating, that'll help. If you start journaling, that'll help. If you start eating clean and getting your thoughts in order, that'll help. But it's also about what you remove. The law of subtraction with the law of vibration. These can be addictions, these can be low vibe thoughts, low vibe people, low vibe situations, patterns you need to break in yourself. And that's why in our Metamorphic program, weeks 1 and 2, we talk about raising your vibe, what we're gonna add in, creating this 2.0 you. But we sure as hell in weeks 3, 4, 5, talk about what we're removing, what beliefs, what stories that you get trapped in. Because one story will have so many emotions, so much belief around it. And once you release it and let go of it, now all of a sudden, by doing nothing but just releasing, you make room for more things to come to you, and that's how you actually raise yourself up. Hope that makes sense. No pressure at all, but if you want to learn more or talk to one of our coaches for free, see if we can genuinely help you, I'll link down below where you can schedule a free call with one of our coaches. So you know about the law of cause and effect, delay time. You know about the law of vibration, letting go and adding in to raise yourself up, because you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. But what's the third one right here? This goes in order, and it's a perfect follow-up to those two. Excuse the mini trampoline in the background. The neighbors below, I'm their favorite. Law number 3. There's an urban legend that goldfish will grow to the size of their container. I have no clue if that's true or not. What I do know is that plants behave in a similar manner. I have this cactus, and that thing started like a little succulent. We planted it, sat outside for a couple years since we've been here, and if we just water it over and over again, eventually it grows, and we have to repot it, we have to get a bigger pot, and it'll eventually outgrow that one, then you keep upgrading the size of the pot. Where I'm going with this is I think our identity works the exact same way. That maybe you've outgrown the current identity you've set for yourself. The thing I've realized working with people and trying as best as I can to do a lot of this inner work throughout my years is our identities get kind of stagnant. Normally around the age of 25, it clicks in, and then that's how we are for the next 10, 20 years with a few minor changes. But if you look back, you kind of have the same beliefs, the same habits, the same operating system. We don't really upgrade our identity. Why identity matters is because this is the deepest layer of who you are. It's your self-image. Beyond habits, beyond beliefs, beyond actions, it's an identity. And if you start here, what you notice is there's a ripple effect outwards. Change your identity, change your self-image, and you start to change your emotions. You start to think different thoughts. You start to have different habits. Going deeper on this, there's a principle from Robert Cialdini's infamous book, Influence. It states that one of the strongest drives we have as humans is not how we look, is not how we sound, is not money, is not image, is not status. It's the need to remain consistent with what you say. The consistency principle. He gives famous studies of where people ask someone, hey, do you want to volunteer? And most people say no. But what happens is if they ask a small commitment first, hey, what do you think about this charity? Would you support them? Oh, I would totally support them. They're infinitely more likely to say yes to volunteering. If someone first signs a petition, they're more likely to donate a larger sum of money because they said yes first before donating. Car dealerships, test driving a car. You said, yes, I like this car. Real smooth, loved it. Acceleration good? Yeah, it was great. You're getting that car, buddy. So tie this to your self-image. Once you start going and changing the root layer of your identity, who you are, you'll remain consistent with it. Just like that goldfish in a small bowl, just like the cactus in a small pot. What if the identity you've had for the last 5, 10 years is small? What if you expand the pot? This is what creating a new identity is. It's literally expanding the size of your container metaphorically. Now, the inverse of consistency is the worst thing someone can be called: a hypocrite. Why is cancel culture so rampant? Why is it exposed culture? Why is drama such a thing? Oh, they're saying one thing and they're behaving a different way. Ooh, let's throw rocks at them. Hypocrites. It's so bad, isn't it? Whatever label you slap on someone, if they don't live up to it, that's a deep-rooted fear in all of us. We don't want to be called a hypocrite. Even in the Bible, it talks about hypocrisy. It's hardwired into us to remain consistent with our self-image. So the secret is you might as well make the one that's bigger. So consistency isn't just something in psychology for persuasion. It can apply to you and your self-improvement. That maybe we're consistent with the pot that's too small for where we want to be. Maybe we've outgrown it. And the secret is that you can throw out that pot anytime you want. You can literally plant yourself in a big pot, as big as you want. So now you're asking, well, how do I do this? How do I create a new identity? How do I expand the size of the container? So what I'll do now is link up right here a perfect follow-up exactly on that. It's how to shift your identity. It's our guide, and it'll give you some step-by-steps that by the end will answer that question, and I think will really help you. I'll see you in that video. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and stop settling, start living. See ya.